I'm Trisha Prokop, a student at the University of St. Augustine in the Doctorate of Education program. I'm currently enrolled in a teaching externship course where I have the opportunity to work with a professor at a local university in his spine musculoskeletal dysfunction course. One of my assignments was to implement 2 learning theories in the instruction of the course and assess the effectiveness. I've created 3 short videos detailing each phase of the assignment. The first video will provide an overview of my teaching goals, as well as the 2 learning theories implemented. The second video will provide more detail on the 2 learning theories and will describe how each theory was implemented in the lecture. The final video will discuss the effectiveness of this learning opportunity that I created. Thank you for watching. In this first video segment, I will be presenting the learning goals that I identified as well as the 2 learning theories that I felt could be used to best enhance the teaching of the 2 learning goals. The content that I taught was 1 lecture on lumbar examination in a second-year musculoskeletal dysfunction course for DPT students. The 2 teaching objectives were to clarify previously identified systematic errors and to assist students in the ability to apply examination principles of 3 orthopedic theorists to the examination of the lumbar spine. In previous years, I have had the opportunity to work in the lab portion of this course. This allowed me to identify areas of difficulty in students' knowledge acquisition, also known as systematic errors. Specific to the lumbar spine examination lecture, I knew that students had difficulty with an examination system known as the treatment-based classification system. Additionally, I knew that students struggled with how this new system related to a previously learned classification system known as the Mackenzie approach. Moreover, I knew that in previous years, the students were having trouble moving on to treatment of the lumbar spine because they were having difficulty classifying various pathologies into this treatment-based classification system. In order to effectively correct the systematic errors, I had to know the type of errors that the students were making in the past. The students would either forget the various classifications or would believe they understood the classifications correctly when in fact they had confused the treatment-based classification system with the previously learned Mackenzie classification system. To address these systematic errors, I chose to employ the information processing theory. This learning theory is associated with the empiricist epistemology because it shares the common assumption that the nature of expertise can be known. However, the unique difference with information processing is that the emphasis is placed on breaking down the thought processes of experts to allow for specific instruction. I will discuss the details of how I implemented this learning theory in the next video segment. The second teaching objective that I had for myself was to assist students in the ability to apply the examination principles of 3 orthopedic theorists to the examination of the lumbar spine. Students had been exposed to the examination principles of 3 theorists, Mackenzie, Maitland, and Cyriax, during prior lectures on the cervical and thoracic spine. Therefore, I wanted to create an opportunity for the students to apply previously learned concepts associated with each theorist to pathologies of the lumbar spine, with the goal that the students would have a more fluid understanding of each theorist's views. I chose to utilize Vygotskianism, or situated cognition, to address my second teaching objective. Vygotskianism is part of the dialectics epistemology, which emphasizes that knowledge originates in society through social language. A key concept defined by Lev Vygotsky, which is associated with this learning theory, is the zone of proximal development, where the lowest limit of the zone is what students can accomplish independently. The upper limit of the zone is what each student can accomplish when supported by a more knowledgeable other. I will discuss in detail how this learning theory was implemented in the next video segment. For the initial phase of this assignment, I created 2 teaching objectives and identified 2 relevant learning theorists to assist me in accomplishing those objectives during the instruction of a lumbar examination lecture. In the next video segment, I will discuss the implementation of the learning theories. I want to extend special thanks to Professor Dan Lofold from the University of St. Augustine and Professor John Laird from the University of Hartford, as well as the students of the Musculoskeletal Dysfunction 2 Fall 2014 class for assisting me in the completion of this project.